Welcome to No Question About That. I'm Ed, today with Isabel. It's been a while. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Yeah. I was going to say, it's all is interesting in the world of Manchester United. I know it's good, really. Losing the Wolves and fighting for 17th place is not exactly good, is it?
No, not particularly.
I know. It's funny. I came out of Sunday's game kind of with a feeling a bit, it's annoying to lose, but in the bigger picture, it doesn't really mean much. And I had a whole bunch of people on Twitter go, stop, stop accepting mediocrity, basically. Have some standards, which I get totally.
No, definitely. I think I have just completely written off the Premier League this season. I mean, obviously we've still somehow got the Europa League to play in, but I think Premier League wise, I don't feel anything anymore about Manchester United. Obviously I did on Thursday night, but Sunday, I mean,
Yeah,
there was just nothing.
the high of Thursday night and just the incredible comeback and the passion and of course there's a lot of sort of fan policing going on the internet. Oh, you won a trophy. You don't celebrate winning in the last minute, 3 goals in the last 5 minutes, then and see how you feel. Yeah, to Sunday losing to a really crap Wolves team after. I mean, honestly, United played all right. I thought. I mean, it's their levels, right? It's not. It obviously
Yeah.
wasn't good enough, and they're just feeling just very flat. Atmosphere was flat. But what I had noticed and what was interesting to today's topic, talking about Ruben Amorim, is how much the fans are still with him. Like 75% of the songs is the Ruben Amorim song, especially away from home.
100%. I think everyone is aware of, the situation. And I think we've all, we do have to stick with Amrin because he came in not at the start of the season. So he didn't have it handed to him that easily. And we have had injuries. I think there's a lot, to that goes into it. But I mean, I'm glad the fans are still behind him. We do still have the Europa League and we've got to go for it. So
Yeah.
I think you got to back the manager at this stage, definitely.
Yeah, and that goes for the club as well. So I'm
Mhm.
I'm with you 100% behind Ruben. I think it helps that he's got some charisma and he's a good communicator and he's perhaps too honest with his assessment of what things going on. He's been dealt a really bad hand. I mean, he obviously came into an environment where the season was pretty much already written off when he joined in November, apart from the Europa League. And so that's the context. We let two attackers go in the winter without replacing them. And now we can't score any goals. Surprise, surprise. It's a pretty thin squad from that point of view. It's definitely thin in terms of quality, as we've seen. And he's changed system. He said there would be a storm. There's been a bloody hurricane, I'd say, of disastrous results. As far as I understand, just from talking to people who are a bit closer to the club than I am, everyone's a bit surprised at the club that it's been this bad, but they're all with him. And then the backing pieces in the summer, like what can United do to truly back this guy? There are limitations with PSR and FFP and all of that, but can we be smart in the summer and get the right kind of players so there are no excuses next season? And I guess the question is, like, how much credit in the bank will he have, right? So if we win the Europa League, big boost. If we don't, next season will have to start well. It will, because otherwise people will start to. Like, if you look at Spurs, nearly 2 seasons into Ange, very similar results to United. It's gone toxic. And would that happen at United? Would people get to the point where they're just kind of a bit fed up, as they were with Eric Ten Hag? It feels like they've got a lot of runway. I don't know. What would it take for you to get fed up?
I mean, I'm yeah, it's weird because I'm actually not fed up. Obviously, I am disappointed with the results that we've seen this season. I think, there's everyone is, they're going to be disappointed, but I do think especially, somehow that we're still in the Europa League, it's we've got to go for this and like I said, you've got to back the manager and I think for me to really turn my head it would be not I mean, I don't think I would turn my head if we have a bad performance in the rest of the Europa League. But I just think this is where we've got to go for it. If you want to get the fans behind you, even more than they are now, it's go for it in the Europa League. This is our last chance for this season and ahead of next season. And it is really important to, I'm not thinking we're going to win Europa League, hoping for it. Who wouldn't? But I am obviously very aware of how we have played this season, and it really could go either way. But I think if we can go and win this, it's really important. I really want us to win it. Obviously, we need the money. We need to go into the summer with money to spend. We need these players, and I think you do have to be spending money in the summer for players for Amorim. You really do. It's not a case of just carry on with these players this season. No, we actually do need to sign some players in the summer for Amorim.
Yeah. And then that's what, when we say back the manager, it's the fans being on his side, it's the fans being behind the team, which I really think they are, especially away from home.
Yeah.
The core, as Andy Mitten would say, the neutrals, he's way off losing the middle ground. There's people on the internet moaning, of course, but you can find someone to have an opinion of any kind on the internet. But yeah, it's status for the club to win the Europa League. It's money. It's 2 players. Or it might even be, given just how big the money is in the Champions League these days, it might be 2 players plus not selling one of our younger players, like Garnacho or Kobe Mainu. There's a lot of talk about Mateus Cunha today. Looks like United is trying to do a deal for him. Maybe we'll do another one on Cunha at some point. It's a very expensive deal for his output, but it might be a sacrifice. If Ruben really wants this player for the sort of left 10 pocket role, he might sacrifice Garnacho if we don't get Champions League. And so that's it. And just on Ruben's record, and part of the reason I think I'm still behind him is that he's obviously a good coach. I can see what he's doing on the pitch. You can see that the way United trying to play in a way that I didn't ever feel I knew what Ten Hag was trying to achieve. It's not good. I'm not trying to claim it's good on the pitch, but I can see it. I was looking at his win record. Casapia, 75% win record. Braga B, 72%. Braga, 76%. Sporting, 71%. United, 38%, right? So he's produced good, winning, strong sides. I don't think that's by accident. He knows what he's doing. The executives at the club behind him. He just needs the tools, and he needs to get rid of the players who don't believe, basically.
No, that's it. And I think, he's came into Manchester United in when was it? Early November?
November, yeah.
Yeah. And actually tried to change it, put his new tactics into this Manchester United team. And that's not easy because these players are so, like you said, we just didn't see anything under Ten Hag. We don't know what his system was. I don't know what his system was. I don't really know what he was even trying to attempt to do. Whereas at least we're seeing that with Amorim. We're seeing his attempt at a system, and it has worked sometimes. Of course, there's areas for improvement, and I think that does, relate to which players we've got. And if we can get Acuna in the summer, that would be huge. And of course, I don't really want to lose Garnacho or Kobe Mainu just because of more of numbers. I think, we need as many players as we can keep. But I think you do have to go out and get a good player that, we've got to trust him. I think you say this for every manager that comes into Manchester United. We wanted to give Ten Hag the players, yes. But I think with Amorim, I see something new that I didn't see under Ten Hag. And like I said, it is the system. We're seeing his attempt at really trying to change the squad. And I think that's huge at Manchester United. We need someone to go for it. And I would give him a good signing and spend the money, even though it is a risk. But I think you have to back the manager.
Yeah. They heavily backed Ten Hag, the club did. They heavily backed him with what looks now a lot of crap players, honestly.
Yeah.
And so we have to get that right. It has, Christian Vival's come in. He has very good reputation, especially with sort of younger players in the Red Bull network, where that really was their model: buy a younger player, improve them. Amorim has a great record with playing and developing younger players. We already see that he trusts them. Harry Amas and Tyler Fredrickson were the 2 best players on at the weekend, right? It's a low bar, but he already trusts younger players. We get him the kind of players that will fit the system, especially on the attacking side of things. I think that's maybe a ball playing central midfielder, maybe a right wing back too, maybe a goalkeeper as well. We'll see. Count how many is that? There's a lot. But yeah, get the players that will fit his system. Trust that he'll develop them. Then I mean, like, he'll be gone if we're 15th this time next season. He won't survive that. Obviously, it's Manchester United. I don't believe that will be the case. I'm quite sure with a full summer under his belt, even if there were no changes in the squad, and there will be a lot of changes, I think we'd see a lot better results. This squad is better than 17th or 15th or whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. Like, once you're in the
Okay.
bottom half, right?
It's
So
gone.
yeah. I mean, it's shocking, honestly. I mean, you're a fair bit younger than I am, so you won't remember when it was really bad. I remember the 80s pretty well. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I think in Ferguson's first season, we were 13th. Second season was second, then it was 13th again. And that was pretty toxic. I was pretty young and not deeply involved in fan culture until sort of the later part of the 80s. But it's been bad before. We just don't expect it, because United become this kind of global, massive club with huge revenues, and we just, as a club, and we know who's at fault, but as a club, made some horrendous choices. Now I think we probably have the right guy, but it's a team effort. And the only thing I don't know about what you think about his song, "He'll Turn the Club Around." It feels like a bit Messiah complex. It's not on him alone. It's important. But it's got to be the whole team. It's Barada, it's Wilcox, it's Vivell, it's the ownership group, and Sir Jim, although I hope he doesn't get too involved in day-to-day stuff. Apparently has been quite, but definitely on the football side of things. And Ruben signing off, give him the tools. I think we'll see something a lot better next season.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, like, I said, he came in November, so he didn't have that pre-season last season. So, give him the summer, give him the pre-season, and I have faith in him. I really do. I think I had faith in Ten Hag, but I just, like I said, I think, with Amorim, and you can see him setting his system up, there is definitely, I think he knows what he wants to do. It's just, let's switch it around a little bit. Let's have the summer. We've kind of got to take a step back of what's happened this season. I think, put it to bed and really just go in for next season, train in the summer, and go for it, and hopefully get that good signing that is rumored right now. We'll see. We've got to get the money first.
Yeah, I think it's about 70 million euros guaranteed from the group stage of the Champions League. Mm-hmm. United will make max 40 from winning the Europa League if we win it. Mm-hmm. And plus ticket sales, right? That's from the UEFA. UEFA had these two pots, right? There's a prize money, and then there's the rights, the shared rights, the media pool. Both of those are much, much bigger, more than double. In the Champions League, it's 2 million euros a win in the Champions League, and obviously you play a lot of games now. And the group stage format, that it's not just getting in, so you get the 70 million almost guaranteed. You have to be really bad not to qualify for at least the playoffs. I mean, Manchester City did their very, very, very best to not qualify, and even then, stumbling over the line, losing all their games, they managed to get into the playoffs. And so there's just a lot of money on the table. And of course, if you do well, there's the potential prize of getting into the Club World Cup, which is stupid. But I don't actually know if the Europa League is a qualifying route. It might be in 4 years' time. Who knows? Like, FIFA make up the rules. They invented a way of getting Lionel Messi into it. But that's another 150 million guaranteed. That's insane. It's really going to skew the market, that one. So Chelsea and City, they're going to have a big pool of money. It just doesn't seem very fair, but there you go.
No.
So, yeah, anyway, status, money, players. Cunha, they're making a big bet on if they pull that one off. I mean, it's probably overpriced for his numbers. He's outperforming XG by twice this season. So those 14 goals really have only come from 7 XG. He is playing in a really crap Wolves team.
Yeah.
So you can, I don't know where those two balance out. He would get more chances at United in theory. So touch wood.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he'd fill that left-sided 10 role. I don't know what that means for Bruno. Is he going to drop back into midfield? as he's done a lot. Would he play the other 10? What does that mean for Ahmad? Does he play the right side 10 or the right wing back role? What does it mean for Garnacho? Like, is it a season on the bench next year? That wouldn't be bad. He's a good impact sub and he's still young.
Yeah.
What does it mean for Kobe? Because Kobe he's come on twice now both against Lyon and against Wolves and played. Or did he start against Wolves? Remind me. I can't remember.
Started against
Wolves, but played further up the pitch. Yeah. So
Ruben
seems to think he's one of those he's talked about his small spaces skills, which is true. He's brilliant in those small. We saw that goal against Lyon. It's pretty much only Kobe that could pull that one off. Yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely. That is my only worry. I think we've just got to make sure that Cunha does actually, fully fit into this squad and the players around him. Because I mean, moving Bruno deeper, is that what Amorim wants to do? I don't know, but I mean, you got to trust him. You got to back him.
Yeah. I do. I mean, on Cunha, there's a lot of things to like. I mean, he's just right at the top of the age profile I thought Ineos might go for. He's 26 in May. Mm-hmm. There wouldn't be much resale on a 5-year contract, but I mean, if that's the one really, well, I mean, maybe a striker as well, but if that's one of the 2 big signings this summer, then cool. He's got a pretty decent record, goal scoring, creation. It's not brilliant, but he's in a really bad Wolves side. He's a really hard worker on the pressing. His pressing data is fantastic. He's a bit of a nutter. I don't mind someone with a character. He likes shithousing, like when he elbowed who's a Ipswich coach. Punched the Ipswich coach who's got sent off for it. It was great. I like it. I don't mind that.
No, we probably need a bit of that, to be fair.
Bit of bite. Yeah, you're a couple of bastards in
We like it, yeah.
For sure. I wish there were some more players like that.
Especially now we've lost Martinez for a bit. We're missing our player like that.
Yeah. Someone who's a bit angry and shows it, a bit of passion. He doesn't love tracking back, which is not horrendous in this system. Mm-hmm. I mean, of course, it's basically what's got Marcus Rashford kicked out of the club, that and some other things, but that's one of the things. Ruben didn't like his application. I mean, he substituted him in one of the European games, didn't he, for not doing the defensive work. I think we might feel a little frustrated with Cunha on that side of things. But it's his attacking output that we're looking at, and Ruben's looking at filling that left side pocket. And he's a perfect tactical fit.
Yeah, and Premier League proven. So
Premier League proven
players like that.
Yeah, I mean, and actually if you look at the record over the last 10 years, I mean, it's horrendous, transfer record, but there's not been a lot of Premier League proven. We did that one season under Oli where we bought Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire. Was there another one? There's another Premier League player. Probably the wrong price for those deals.
Yeah.
Not horrendous. I mean, Wan-Bissaka's, he didn't quite work out. I think we'd have felt different if it was 20 million, not 50 million. Mm-hmm. Same with Harry. If Harry was 40 or 50, not 80, I think we'd have a different opinion. And almost his stock has risen over time, funnily enough.
Yeah.
So,
it has.
Yeah. What else would make us feel good about going into the next season? Because, the topic was Ruben Amorim and what would it take to back him or sack him sort of thing. What else does he need, do you reckon? Like, that's a left-sided forward. Should we spend money on a striker? Kind of have to.
I think so. I think it's such a shame because I think there's definitely a player there in Højlund, but we just don't see it. There's so many kind of faults that he makes when he's on the pitch. And of course, he's not getting the most service, that he should be getting as well. So we do have to, consider all the factors into that one. But it is a shame. But I do think we need to invest in a striker. But I don't think Højlund should have come in and been the first choice striker anyway. Right. I think we needed probably someone more experienced. And obviously, I know we've got Xerxes as well, but he's not a striker. You don't want Xerxes playing up front in the Premier League every week in, week out. So I would invest in a striker. Not sure who, but I think we need.
Yeah, and probably someone with a bit more experience. I mean, it'd be hell of a risk. I mean, I guess if we get the Champions League, and then you could do 2 deals. If we were making the assumption that Anthony, Rashford, and Sancho all leave, there's still a lot of sort of 10s there, especially if Cunha does come in. But the only striker is Højlund. So is it an experienced one like Osimhen? Very expensive, but sounds like his people are willing to do it. Great forward when he's fit.
Yeah.
which is, I would say, a big question mark over him. But, huge talent. Maybe he's grown into his body because he seems to get fewer injuries this season. Or a Liam Delap, no experience. I'd say if you managed to offload Højlund, maybe it would be a young player like that, plus an experienced. I'd be very worried if we went into next season with, say, Højlund and Delap as our two striking options. I'd be very worried.
So would you sell Højlund then?
Yeah, I think the club, as far as I understand from talking to people, the club made that decision already.
Really?
The issue is money.
Yeah.
So it was 64 million plus add-ons. That works out about 50 million season PSR. So we'd be looking for 45 million to break even on the book value. Anything other than that, anything lower than that, and no one's going to pay 45 million for Rasmus Højlund. You take an impairment charge, which is basically to say you have to make the adjustment for the difference between the book value and the sale value and take that off your PSR, basically. It's like nerdy accounting stuff, but I think it's fair to do it that way. It's just say you're saying it's like it'd be different in the squad cost rule if that ever comes in, which we get in UEFA, but you don't have in the Premier League. But it's basically to say you can't like make a massive mistake and just make up for that with owner funding in some fashion. Like you have to pay for your mistakes, and United have done that. We get fucked twice on paying too much for players and then paying to get them to leave. It's same with Antony. Basically, we need 32 million to break even, given his performances for Betis, which are about the same, but the output is happening like it did in the first year.
Yeah.
And they love him. So, maybe they could stump up that 40 million euros, would they? It'd be a massive fee for them.
Yeah, probably.
And Sancho, Chelsea are obliged now. They will finish above 14th, so they're obliged to buy him for between 20 and 25. It'll be towards the bottom end of that because of performance-related bonuses, unless they want to pay us to. And that would be the ultimate embarrassment to me if they pay us to take him back. So, Jayden, you need to have a long, hard look at yourself and work out what you've done with your life and your life choices, I'd say.
Yeah, that's too far.
Yeah. And then Marcus, I guess it really depends on if Aston Villa can get European football because that'll budget. Although there was a report today saying they're willing to offload Ollie Watkins, who Arsenal wanted, would be a good fit there in order to make room for Rashford. I don't know whether that's true or not. But if Emery likes him, and he's a good coach, and he has been playing Rashford ahead of Watkins in quite a few games, so it releases money, right? Yeah.
I mean, it's big match tonight, Villa and City. So
I don't normally say this, but come on, Villa. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, don't mind that.
Yeah, I mean, Brummies, whatever. They're happy because it's just a few years ago, Aston Villa were in the Championship, right? It's not that long. So maybe all of that will release money, and then we buy a striker, a midfielder, ball carrier, passer because we don't have that at all. Maybe a right wing back. Honestly, I think we've seen even if Dorgu's raw, his attacking ability to attack or his willingness to do it is obviously and his physicality is a good addition to the side. Yeah, so
definitely.
All right. We're backing Ruben. I think most of the fans are. My concern would be we get beaten by Bilbao or Spurs in the final. Oh, God, I know. Oh, God, that would be miserable, wouldn't it? Yeah. Can you imagine losing to Spurs in the final and they sack Ange anyway, which they will do?
Be awful. Yeah. Uproar.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. I'd almost rather lose to Bilbao, to be honest. But
yeah, I think I would.
Yeah, that's my worry. We lose to Bilbao. We don't have the money. We can't get the players that Amorim wants. We don't do enough churn in the squad. Everyone feels really depressed. We end up playing a lot of young players next season because that's the only way to make the books work. And it goes a bit wrong. And by November next year, we're in the same situation where we've lost half our games. And even though we've got a good young coach, he doesn't have the raw materials and people start to turn. So that's my concern. I really hope that doesn't happen.
I know.
All right, Isabel, it's nice to catch up with you.
I know, you too.
Yep, and your channel is Talk About United?
It is, on YouTube.
Very good. All very reasonable takes in a world of toxic nonsense, I'd say. Good luck with that. Everyone check out Isabel's channel. If you're listening to us, you can see us on YouTube. Another plug for the Lost Tapes, which is my history series. It was Kino last week. No, the week before last, and Ollie this week. And coming up will be 58 to 68, and that'll round out our first season of that one. If you're listening to us, if you're watching us, you can catch us on all the podcast apps, wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you very much. Thank you, Isabel. Bye now.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Right.